If you're building a website, you cannot skip these must-have SEO elements because without them, your website is going to be invisible on Google. SEO is crucial for being found and driving traffic to your website. And today, we're going to be talking about the foundational elements that every website must have if it's going to rank on Google and attract the right audience. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to optimize every page on your website to increase your chances of ranking on Google. If you're new here, my name's Tanya. I'm a musician, blogger, passive income and SEO specialist. And when I'm talking about on-page SEO, what I'm talking about is optimizing every single page of your website so it will rank higher and attract relevant traffic. Without proper on-page SEO, search engines can't understand what your website is about. Therefore, they can't properly rank it for search terms that people are actively searching for. So it is essential. It is one of the non-negotiables when it comes to building your website. Now let's talk about those non-negotiables versus advanced SEO concepts. Non-negotiables are those must-haves that you have to have on every single page. Advanced SEO concepts like schema and structured data are nice to haves after your non-negotiables are already in place. We're not going to be talking about those in this video, but if you're interested in advanced SEO, I have a video talking all about it and I will put that in the description. Your first non-negotiable SEO element is your page title or your title tag. The title tag tells Google what your web page is all about and helps it know how best to rank it for people who are actively searching. You would be amazed how many clients I've worked with who've built beautiful landing pages but never put a title on them. They have it written out, it looks gorgeous, but they're missing that essential title tag that's going to let Google know what it's all about. Now, a few things to keep in mind with your title tag. It needs to be 60 characters or less. It needs to include the primary keyword and it needs to be enticing. Having a power phrase for your title is ideal. The second non-negotiable is your meta description. The meta description tells readers and Google what your website is about. When you go to search something on Google, you see first the title and then a little blurb about the web page. That is the meta description. And this is your last chance to convince potential readers to click your web page over others. Meta descriptions should be 160 characters max. They need to have your primary keyword and they need to have a compelling call to action, which is going to get potential readers to click through and choose your web page over others. The third non-negotiable is your URL structure. Be sure to keep your URL slug short, sweet, and it should contain your primary keyword. The URL slug is the part that comes after your website name. So for example, tanyalawson.com/SEO tips. Most platforms make the title of your blog post the URL slug, but you can change it in your SEO section. So if you're using WordPress with Yoast, there's a place to change it in Yoast. If you're using something like Squarespace, there will be a place to change your URL slug. Change it to make it short, sweet, and very descriptive of what's happening. So SEO tips, or power phrases, or non-negotiable website elements. That way, it's making it very clear to Google what your web page is about. The fourth non-negotiable are the headings on your website. So you have H1, H2, H3, H4, 5, 6, etc. Typically, you only need to use H1, H2, and H3 headings. The H1 heading is your title. You will only have one H1 on your entire web page. If you have more than one, Google is going to get very confused. The H2 tags are your primary headings. So think of it like an outline you might have done back in school when you were writing a paper for your English class. So your H1 heading is the main title. The H2 headings are your main subject matter, and H3 would be subheadings within those main headings. So structure your website with the proper heading tags, and it will help Google even better understand what your content is about. Plus, it improves user experience, making your content easily skimmable for readers who, let's face it, aren't actually going to read it. The fifth non-negotiable is optimized images. So the image starts with the file name. Make sure the file name reflects your keyword or the image it is representing. If you're creating something on Canva, don't use the default file name that comes with it. Make sure you change it to contain your keyword and so it's descriptive of the image itself. Next, you're going to use the alternative text feature in whatever system you're using, and you're going to do alternative text for each image. Ideally, this alternative text will have your keyword in it, but the alternative text is simply a description of the image that is intended to be used by screen readers so that people who are visually impaired will better understand what your image is about. And then finally, make sure your images are small file sizes so they load quicker and improve user experience. This is something simple that you can do that's going to make your website load faster and improve your ranking results. The sixth non-negotiable is internal linking. These are links within your own website from page to page. This leaves a trail of little breadcrumbs for Google and users to better understand what your website is about. It also keeps users on your website longer when they click on that internal link, which takes them to another page on your website. This signals to Google that your content is valuable, that your website is valuable, and they will raise you higher in the rankings because of it. But don't put links for links' sake. Make sure the links link to relevant content because Google will understand those breadcrumbs as they follow them to get a clearer picture of what your content is about. And it will spread link juice from blog posts that get lots of traffic to blog posts that may get a little bit less and start raising traffic on those as well. The seventh non-negotiable is a mobile-friendly web design. Let's face it, more than half of Google traffic comes from a phone. Think about it. Where do you do the majority of your internet searches? I'm guessing you don't go to a computer every time you need to look something up. You pull your phone out of your pocket and you do a quick Google search. Your website needs to be mobile-friendly. The problem is we build our websites on computers and then we forget to check what they look like on mobile. You might find when you go to check your website that maybe the text is askew or things are hard to read. Make sure you tweak it for mobile so that it looks clear, it's easy to navigate, and it's going to satisfy user experience. And along with user experience comes the eighth non-negotiable, and that is a fast load time. Your site speed is more critical than it's ever been before. We live in a world with no patience, myself included. And when you pull up a Google search and you click on a website and it doesn't instantly take you where you want to go, you get that buffering or loading screen, you're just going to click back and go to the next one. So make sure that all of the pages on your website load quickly. This may be reducing the number of images or videos on them. It might be doing an embed instead of an upload. It might be something as simple as making sure those images are optimized at a smaller file size so that your website loads quickly. Your goal is less than 2 seconds per web page. You can see how quickly your site is loading by using a tool like Google PageSpeed Insights so that you know exactly how fast your load time is. And finally, the ninth non-negotiable is a clear call to action. This is how you're going to take readers and turn them into customers. You're going to have a clear call to action on what they need to do to take the next steps. It's going to improve their user experience by telling them exactly what to do, and it's going to encourage them to click. And that is going to signal to Google once again that your content is valuable and it's going to drive it up in the rankings. Now that we've gone over the non-negotiables, let's talk about a few common mistakes that you need to make sure to avoid. The first one is keyword stuffing. Make sure you don't have your keyword put in there over and over and over again in the exact same way. Instead, use related keywords. So for example, if your main keyword is SEO tips, don't put it in 5,000 times. Instead, use a combination of SEO tips, SEO hacks, SEO best practices. This is going to mix things up and it's going to make it read more naturally. You also don't want to use generic or duplicate content.
So anything that is solely AI written, you need to avoid. And if you have a website that sells products, for example, make sure all of your product descriptions are written differently. Otherwise, Google is going to think you're plagiarizing yourself and it's going to lower your ranking. The other two main mistakes I see are ignoring image optimization. We talked about how important it is that you optimize every image on your website. Do not skip this step. And then finally, also ignoring meta descriptions. I've heard a lot of people say, well, Google picks their own text anyway. Why should I bother writing it? Well, one, Google may choose to use your meta description. And two, even though Google selects its own, having a well-structured SEO optimized meta description will still tell Google better what your website is about and help them rank it.
Implementing these non-negotiables on your website will help it rank on Google. And if you want to do more of a deep dive into SEO, download my free SEO cheat sheet. I'll have it linked in the description below. And if you already have these in place and you're ready to take your website to the next level, make sure you check out this video. And until next time, peace out.